Alright, hello friends and fellow adventurers. Thank you for joining me in today's video. We are going to be continuing our story of Zargo and her partner Vega. This is going to be our session 9, and let's just jump right into the action where we left off last time, which is Zargo and Vega had just left the office and then exited out through the sewers back into the pouring rain of the port district of the city of Promise. They decided to split up. Zargo's going to go back to the guardhouse to get some reinforcements to help them go and make an arrest on Amari, who is the person that they were in the basements originally looking for evidence so they could convict him, and they found what they needed. So Vega went to the bar where they knew he was at that night, which he frequents. So she's going to go and make sure that he's still there while Zargo goes and gets the reinforcements. Now they are technically off duty when they were doing all this reconnaissance, so they can't necessarily make the arrests themselves, hence why they need the backup to make it more by the books kind of thing. So that's where we are going to be starting today. All right. Now, Zargo, we already said, made her way to the guardhouse, and she was able to muster up one extra, because I rolled for that. She was just able to find one guard who wasn't either predisposed or actually off that night. So, and she's going to make her way back into the mud-filled streets as the rain pours down and the thunder rolls ahead. So she's going to make her way back to the Skull. That's the name of the bar. Oh, actually, before we start rolling dice and figuring out things, we need to... Oh, I need to... excuse me for just a second. I need to refocus me setup here. Bloop, bloop. There we go. That way we got our character sheet and our fate chart up there. All our nice bits and bobs for that. And we just leveled up. So Zargo has some extra hit points, some extra AC, all the good stuff that comes with leveling up. Cool beans. But more importantly, what I was getting at was we need to go to our adventure journal and go down to our next scene. Now this scene is going to be... I don't know why the font all of a sudden got so tiny on this thing. But anyway, our new scene is going to be... I don't want to make it too lengthy. We'll just arrest Amari. Which I don't even think you guys can see that because the font for some reason is so tiny. But, and that is going to be our scene number 5. Again, not that the number of scenes really make a difference, but there it is. And we are currently at a chaos factor 5, but every time we start a new scene, we have to roll to test the expected scene to see whether it is altered or interrupted. Now, we have yet to roll an interrupt scene. So we roll a d10, and if it is at or below our current chaos factor, which our current chaos factor is 5, if it's at or below that, it will be altered or interrupted somehow. So roll to test. We got a 1. Of course we do, which is altered. Again, it's an odd number, so it's going to be an altered scene. Pretty much every scene we've rolled so far has been altered. So it's going to proceed as expected, but it's going to be slightly different somehow, which, yes, obviously that's what the word altered means. But let's roll to find out what. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be... I'm going to roll on the action table to see how this scene is altered. It's going to be a 10. Bargain. I have an idea. Hopefully the second word promotes it. Bargain and 40 on the dot. Bargain and home. Bargain and home. All right. Bargain and home. I'm not sure how home kind of fits into what I'm thinking, but we're going to roll with it. I'm thinking when Zargo gets back to the bar, not only is Amari not going to be there, Vega is also not going to be there. So, is that the case? I'm going to make it very likely because I think this could be fun, but I'm not going to make it certain. So, very likely at a chaos factor. Oh, which I need to make sure. I know I'm very suspenseful with my stops. I think our characters were very much in control of the last session, meaning the chaos factor is going to go down to 4, unfortunately. I like it when the chaos factor is high for some reason. All this does is alters our yes and no's, kind of our percentages for our yes and no's. So, again, I think it is very likely that Zargo's coming to the bar. Vega and Amari are not going to be there. So, is that the case? Very likely. 40 on the dot, and that's a yes. All right, so Zargo gets back to the bar. She comes in out of the pouring rain, water dripping onto the floorboards of the bar. Few patrons in here. It's getting pretty late at night, so it's not a full crowd, but enough to have some eyes drawn on her when she walks in. Behind her, the guard that she returned to bring with her stumbles in as well. He doesn't stumble in, he's not drunk, but he walks in behind her. Now, she looks around. She looks back to the corner table where she knows Amari sits. That's basically his office, from what the barkeep had told them. It is empty. Vega, nowhere in sight. Zargo turns to the guard behind her. They were supposed to be here. I really need to get Zargo's voice down. Sorry for anybody. Anybody listening that doesn't know that she's a female would not even know that she was a female, because I do a really bad job of representing that in her voice. But it's hard to talk like a gruff orc and make it feminine. I don't know. Not that she needs to be feminine, but I just feel like I don't portray that at all. Anyway, she turns to the guards. They're supposed to be here. I don't understand. Vega came back here. Something must have happened. She walks over to the bar and she talks to the barkeep. Now, the barkeep here at the Skull is a rat folk named Finch. Now, she is older and she's kind of hard of hearing. You can see the graying in her fur, kind of like is a telltale sign that she's an aging rat folk. Zargo approaches the bar and she calls her over. Excuse me, Finch. Have you seen Vega in here recently? She was supposed to come in and keep an eye on Amari while I went and fetched other guards to make for his arrest. Has Finch, here's our next fate question. Has Finch seen Vega in here? I'm gonna say it's I'll say very. I would say nearly certain, but since she's older and she's not really reliable, I'm just gonna say it's very likely. Has Finch seen Vega tonight? Other than because they were in here earlier, but since they left, that's a 74. That's a no. Okay. I figured she would, but that's a no. She has not seen Vega.
I'm sorry, guard, lady, man, I don't know what you are, but I have not seen your friend that was in here earlier.
Well, what about Amari? Where did he go? He was in here. That's why we left. Where did he go?
Well, he left a little while ago, not long. Just a few minutes before you came trudging your mud into my bar.
Did they say anything? Did you see which way they went? Anything that can help me?
Does she know of anything that can help them? I'm gonna say it's unlikely on a chaos factor 4. Does Finch know anything that can help them? Ooh, 21. That's a yes. Alright, what does she know that can help them? I'm thinking this is going to be descriptor. So what does Finch know that can help them as to where Amari went when he left? 20. That's going to be dangerously. Okay, it's kind of starting to make sense already. Dangerously, and that's a 78. Dangerously quaint. Dangerously quaint. Okay, actually, okay, I like this. I'm going with my original idea, and okay, let's go. So Finch thinks for a second. She
Takes her thin little rat claw and scratches her head. Oh, well, I do remember. He was being followed very closely by a hooded figure out the door. They did cut to the right as they exited the door, but it's raining outside and my vision is not what it used to be.
Oh, here's one thing.
But maybe another silver piece could, clear my mind a bit.
So she's going to basically extort Zargo again because she got 1 silver out of her during their earlier conversation. Is Zargo going to pay up? Ooh, I don't want to throw everything to a fate chart, but I mean it is kind of fun. I'll say 50-50 on a chaos factor for is Zargo going to pay up to get that little extra bit of information. That's a 14. That's a yes. Yes, she is. Zargo kind of like rolls her eyes. She loosens her belt pouch, grabs a silver, slams it on the table, scoots it up to Miss Finch. There you go, Finch. What do you know? I need to figure this out. This could be important. Vega's life could be on the line. So, so with that, actually, that's going to be the information that they cut off to the right, and that the hooded figure did, in fact, have a dagger kind of like pressed to Amari's back as they went out the door. So, with that, we are going to... All right, Zargo kind of like motions towards the other guard to follow her out. She's gonna walk out onto the well, I made a whole map for the bar. Why not use it? But Vega is not in this scene. We got Zargo, who is just questioning the rat folk lady. I forget that you guys can see stuff. I'm just all in my mind all the time. I forget that I'm streaming, I'm making a video, yada yada yada. Alright, so Zargo motions towards the other guard to follow her out. They step out onto the covered porch. She's going to make a survival roll, so I can actually use some of our Pathfinder stats that I usually overlook. She's going to make a survival roll to try to find some tracks in the mud. Now, obviously, people are coming and going in here, so it's not like she's going to... Maybe she will if she rolls high enough. Maybe she'll know exactly which boot prints kind of match a gnomish man of his height or whatever. Alright, so she's going to make a survival roll. I'm going to make it... it's muddy, so tracks are going to be made, but that means tracks are going to be getting covered up. So I'm going to make it pretty tough. I'm going to make it a DC 18. That's going to make it... That's still possible, but it's pretty unlikely. Alright, DC 18. Is she able to find any tracks that kind of lead off to the right where Miss Finch was telling... Ooh, a 2. No. She is unable to make out anything in this mud. The rain is just like washing it out as she's looking at it. Zargo just kind of hangs her head again. She leans her hand on the post next to her. Today is just not going how it's supposed to. Well, I reckon if you got other duties to get to, you can go. Otherwise, you can follow me. I'm a look for a little while. Again, I'm doing a terrible job of Zargo's voice. I'm gonna look for a while, see if anything comes up, but at this rate, I really don't think it's going to. So, she's gonna spend the next few minutes just kind of like hopelessly wandering around, She cuts off to the right out of the bar. I'm going to say it's impossible. Does anything happen? Anything useful happen to Zargo? Impossible. 35. No. Nothing happens. She's just wandering around in the rain for a little while. It's getting late. She's tired. She thinks she's just going to call it a night. She's not sure what happened to Vega, but as far as she knows, Finch did not see her even enter the bar that night. So Zargo is just kind of like, she's too tired to think about this and the rain and everything that's happened tonight. It's just kind of like swimming around in her mind. So she's just gonna go home for the night. She's gonna retire for the evening. She's gonna walk into her small little I'm thinking she has like a second floor apartment, you know, kind of like a typical cliche cop in a movie. They got like a sad, depressing apartment, like one half-eaten banana in the fridge kind of thing. She just kind of comes in, slugs her muddy boots off. She kind of like dries herself off for the night and lays her head down and goes to sleep. And we're going to end that scene, which was arrest Amari, which never happened. And I'm thinking she was not in control of that. It was a short scene, nothing really happened of that, but for her, nothing really went right. So I'm going to bump the chaos factor back up to 5, and we need to figure out what our next scene is going to be. So Zargo sleeps through the night just fine. She wakes up. Now, here's the thing. I was kind of like wondering in my head, in between sessions, I have time to think, but while I'm in sessions, I really don't have any direction of where I'm going. So once the first roll happens that I can even slightly predict in my head, everything else is completely unknown to me. So forgive me if I have some long pauses or things don't seem like they go how they should. But anyway, she sleeps through the night. She wakes up later in the day. It had passed midnight, so technically we were into Moon Day as the night ended there. So she's going to wake up. But does she work on Moon Day? I'm thinking no. I'm going to make it impossible. I don't want to just go ahead outright and say that, but I'm going to say it's impossible. We did just raise the chaos factor up, so it's impossible. Does she work on Moon Day? 82, that is still in the no, is almost an extreme no, but just a no. So she does not work today. So she gets to sleep in a little bit. She gets to sleep off what happened the night before. She wakes up feeling a lot better. Now she's going to do she is a worshiper of Aurori. So she has a strict routine. Every morning she wakes up, before she goes into work, she does her morning, she rolls out of bed, boom, does her push-ups, boom, she kind of sits and meditates. Now remember, anybody that doesn't know or is watching for the first time, on this island, because this is all on an island, it's a tropical island, the City of Promise, which she is not technically in, she's outside of the City of Promise, but the laws still extend out into the Port District where they live. Religion is banned, so there are no churches. Anybody caught worshiping, it's a crime. They can either be fined, punished, shipped off the island, etc. But so in secret, she doesn't necessarily have like a shrine or an idol or anything, but she has her beliefs that she was given by her parents, and she does believe in Aurori. Now she knows this goes against the law basically, and she's sworn to uphold the law, and she does take her job as a guard very seriously, but this is one rule that she feels shouldn't be a rule. And I mean, those exist in real life too. So, but anyway, back to what we were doing. She wakes up, boom, she does her push-ups, she cracks her raw eggs, she goes for a jog around the dock. Let's see how the weather is this morning. Has the weather subsided? Because last we rolled the weather, it was a 10 out of 10 worst weather. That's why it had been raining all night and the drainage ditch were filling up. But what is the weather like this morning as Zargo rolls out of bed and does her morning routine. A 5. Okay, so it has calmed down. It has calmed all the way down. The skies are a little gray. The wind is just lighter than a breeze. The rain has stopped. She goes on her jog around the docks, kind of watches everybody working, the ships coming in and going out. She makes it back to her place, and she sits down to think about what she's going to do today. Now, I already know one extreme major main thing that she is going to do today, and that is going to be go buy some heavy armor. She needs to find some heavy armor now. Now that I say that, again, in my head, in the past, I've been thinking that possibly she has a close tie to her parents, and her father came from an orc tribe in which he was a very outstanding soldier in it before he decided to leave and yada yada yada. If any of that's unfamiliar, please go back and watch some of my character creation videos. It's all kind of like mixed in there. Regardless, is there a chance that she can get her heavy armor from her dad, kind of like a hand-me-down, not hand-me-down, but like, this is about the time I relinquish my old armor to you kind of thing. Which I think that would be cool, narratively. So we're going to roll on that to see if that happens. If not, she's going to go shopping and buy her own kind of thing. So, but I'm going to say it's unlikely. Does she go and visit her parents today? We'll put it like that. Does Zargo go and visit her parents today? That is a 73. That is going to be a no. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't an extreme no. Unlikely, nope, just a no. So no, she's not going to go visit her parents today. Or at least if she does, it's not going to be to get some awesome, cool ancestral armor. Which would have been cool, but it's not. She's going to buy some brand new, awesome, kick-ass armor instead. So, Zargo, as she kind of sits at her sad one-chair, tiny square table in her tiny kitchen, she's remembers that last night she picked up a couple items out of Amari's office that she pocketed because she needs to make some gold. So Zargo gathers her items and she makes her way through the still muddy and wet streets out to the shop district. Now, there's definitely plenty of armorers out there and plenty of peddlers that will buy her goods. So she is able to sell her. Let's get to Zargo. And armor is what we need. Yes. But actually, I'm just going to add her wealth real quick. So she's going to sell her 2 items, and she's going to get 35 gold out of that. Shopping, we'll just name the entry that. She's going to get 35 gold pieces for selling those. Let's let's do some fun. Let's add some flavor to that real quick. She's gonna try to haggle, which isn't actually a thing. Whoops, wrong button. It's not actually a thing, but I think it's fun. So she's gonna make I'd say it'd be diplomacy. She's gonna make a diplomacy check. I'm gonna make it pretty tough though. It's gonna be a DC 16 diplomacy check. She only has a +1. To see if she can get an extra 2 pieces of gold out of that. She is not able to. That's fine, no biggie. I didn't expect it. So, shopping, she's going to gain 35 more gold. But that should be enough to get her. Technically, by level 2, I should have given between her and Vega, if you follow the rules laid out in the handbook, they should both have like 75 gold right now. But I'll even all that out later. As long as she has enough to buy some heavy armor right now is all I'm concerned with. Scale armor. Ooh, actually, she's gonna sell her scale armor because she doesn't need 2 sets of armor, right? So sell, and it automatically gives the sell price, which would be 2 more gold. So she's gonna she's gonna kind of like swap. You know, she's like trading in her old car for a new car. As she goes to the armorer, she picks out a beautiful set of armor. It's kind of the one sitting in the shop window. She's not gonna spare any expense on this. Losing so much blood the night before, she knows she needs something heavy and worth their weight in gold. She does have enough for full plate, which is what she's gonna buy. She has 42 gold and it's 30 gold. That's good enough. Still leave her with a few gold anyway. Full plate armor, blah 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 blah. Consists of interlocking plates that encase nearly all things. Has the bulwark. That's what she needs. Alright. Buy in clothes. Awesome. Now what's her stats? There we go, 20. That's more like it. And then when she puts her shield up, she'll have a 22. Yeah, I like it. Awesome. And she'll upgrade her shield later on down the road. Regardless, let's continue this story. I'm kind of dragging my feet here. This is getting boring even for me. So, alright. So Zargo does her shopping. She finds her beautiful armor. She wears it home even. I think she's gonna use it while she's on guard duty. As long as she wears her guard colors underneath, I'm sure her job will allow it. Now what? We need something going on here. She buys her armor, she heads home, and with that, we are gonna end this session number 9. And I thank you all for watching and for participating. And hopefully I will catch you all again next time. Thank you and goodbye.